Okay.
Welcome to We're Just Haters.
Another episode of We're Just Haters.
Oh, yes. We are back to the Hampstead Theatre.
Yeah, back at the Hampstead.
Last time we were entertained.
We were very entertained.
Go back to our Apex Predator episode if you want to see our last adventure. And we're back with Showmanism.
Yeah, Showmanism, which is by and starring Dickie Beau and directed by Jan Wilhelm van den Bosch. Van den Bosch.
So we went, I didn't really know anything about it. I just kind of heard good things about. Renata, you're more familiar with the artist.
Yeah, I didn't really know what it was about, but I am familiar with the artist. I did a workshop with him for grad school, and we had to watch one of his shows called Remember Me to prepare for the workshop. And so I knew because I'm familiar with his work. I knew what it was going to be, but I wasn't really sure what it was going to be about. How was he going to do this? So,
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, we reluctantly coming back to the Hampstead because, we still don't know what Hampstead is about.
No, because their programming seems to me all over the place. We get a lot of science fiction. We get a lot of some fantasy sometimes.
Yeah.
We're not really sure what their identity is. I mean, new writing is one of them, newer writing. But also, it's like, what's the vibe? There is no vibe. We're just doing whatever. Because
it used to be because obviously Hampstead, very kind of grey hair audience.
And the audience for this was grey hair, though, still, that came to see this.
Yeah, so they used to cater, kind of main theatre would cater to these audiences. So kind of like simple narrative, easy, simple shows. And then downstairs you would get like more young playwrights, young directors, more edgy stuff. But now it feels like it's a
mixed bag
around, which I'm kind of low-key intrigued now.
Yeah, but also at a certain point, you gotta find your own identity and like kind of figure out what your thing is.
Maybe it's going through like that ugly, teenager phase.
Yeah.
And trying to.
Yeah.
Because obviously you need to find new audiences because
they're dying out, literally.
Unfortunately.
And their disposable income is going with it.
Yes.
Anyway, I guess we should just go back to listen to ourselves.
Oh yes.
To see what we say.
Let's. We're back in the Hampstead Theatre.
We just bought these tickets today, so
just a random. Because we said we're gonna do a random ticket situation.
Yeah.
And that was the random trip ticket situation. It's set in space? Question mark? Probably? We have a preset. The actor is already on stage. Just climbed down the.
Yeah. We are familiar with this artist, Dickie Beau.
I'm not.
I am. He's known for his lip sync artistry and mimicry.
Also like a drag? Oh no.
Yeah, no. It's like taking recordings of people speaking and lip syncing to them.
Ah, so he was original TikTok.
Essentially, like his show Remember Me is fantastic. You can watch it online, I think. It's about this actor, I can't remember his name, but he played Hamlet at the National, and he was dying of AIDS as he was playing Hamlet. And according to the people who saw that production, it was just life-changing because he was actively dying while...
Oh, so he was portraying him. I see.
Yeah, and not him, but the people who knew him. So Sir Ian McKellen knew the guy, and
Gilbert.
Just people who getting what's the word? He did interviews and interviewed people who were there, who saw the show and worked on the show, because you cannot find any photograph of this production anywhere. It's all locked away because I think his family said he didn't want anyone to see them. So
it's sort of, I really like the set. It's like in this kind of a lot of objects suspended in this zero gravity way.
with these projections.
No, with mapped on the. It's very cool.
There's haze.
There's haze. There's haze, guys. There's always haze. Yeah. See you after because there's no interval.
Yeah, love it. Love a one-act situation.
Love
It's my
it.
favorite.
Okay, bye. Right, so that was us. So what does the Hampstead Theatre website say about showmanism?
Showmanism, it says, the quote is, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was made flesh," which is the first line of the play, and that is taken from the Bible. Anyway, it continues to say, following the triumph of Remember Me in 2023, Dickie Beau returns to Hampstead Theatre with his critically acclaimed Showmanism for a strictly limited run. Having premiered at the Theatre Royal Bath in 2022, Showmanism is a kaleidoscope journey through theatre and its history as seen through the lens of Dickie Beau's celebrated unique lip-sync mixtape medium. Spend an evening in the company of stage and screen legends Ian McKellen, Peter Sellers, Fiona Shaw, and many others as you have never seen or heard them before. Channeling a compelling collection of voices, Dickie traces a path through the world of performance in all of its permutations, from Greek theater to nightclub drag queens, from politics to puppetry. Showmanism is an audio-visual love letter to performance. It talks to us about art, about the world, and about being human.
Hey! It's very interesting that it actually, like, for the first time it was done in 2022, because that was such a weird time for theatre. You know, theatre was just kind of trying to come back after the pandemic. It must have been so poignant to actually have this kind of meta show about theatre. You know, it felt so fragile at that point because it was the first thing to go.
Yeah,
I think a lot of us thought about our place in theatre and being theatre makers. Because, you know, I think a lot of us had these conversations with our family. I had one with my brother who's, you know, out of love, but he was like, think about retraining. So it's very like Tory coded, you know, like retrain Fatima. But you know, it was coming out of love, but that was like a very scary time. I remember that time very clearly when like trying to put a show on and then, I don't know, Bojo will announce yet another lockdown. And then you kind of learn not to expect anything anymore. And I think like, so this show came out in kind of in this environment and could have been quite interesting for a theatre to talk about theatre after it just kind of showed how fragile it felt in 2022.
Oh yeah, it definitely was fragile because I was probably one of the few people who kept their job throughout working at a large theater company. But because it was a large theater company, that's why I was able to keep my job, because they had lots of financial support and lots of cash. But at the same time, the tasks that I was doing, because I thought I was going to get laid off, because obviously I was a duty manager, so I thought that I was no audience, no people, no shows, no Renata. That's what I thought. But no, they kept us on. Why? Because no one was sure when we could start again. And so the thinking at the time was for them to keep the skeleton crew who can, at any given notice, be able to go back in there and do the thing. While at the same time, if we weren't able to do the thing, you know, in person, being able to do the other things that needed to be done when you have millions of dollars worth of ticket money just sitting that you can't do anything with, and you gotta contact people to ask what to do with their money. And with that, it was a lot of phone calls, a lot of talking with people, a lot of talking with audience members, a lot of whom were elderly and who were lonely and needed someone to talk to. I was on the phone with some people for over an hour just talking, because the theater was like, let's do some wellness calls to literally check in with people, because we can't really offer them anything in person, but we could at least contact our supporters and just to see how they're doing, which was...
So that's why I feel like that show really hit different in 2022. So what happens? It's difficult to actually kind of... There's no real storyline.
No.
There's more like a journey of that character. And it opens with like Dickie's character. Well, I don't know, let's call him Dickie for the
it is Dickie.
Of purposes.
It is.
So climbing up the ladder on the stage.
Even before the show started, he was climbing down.
The whole set kind of, we mentioned, it feels like inside of inside of the kind of spaceship like capsule or something, like different props from different like theater shows
in different eras. Like there was a record player hanging from the ceiling, and there was a conch shell hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, comes in this kind of like a spacesuit, and then he undresses to reveal this kind of very Dionysus situation. So kind of wines and kind of, you know, the classic portrait of Dionysus or many different other gods, I guess, in Greek mythology. Yeah, and then what happens there? Oh, then he actually asks who's there. Obviously, a nod to Shakespeare, and one of the props is the Yorick's skull as well.
Yeah.
So the skull talks back.
Yes.
With the voice that we all know.
But then the skull, the spirit of the skull, inhabits him.
Yeah, so like takes him over, and Sir Ian McKellen is kind of in front of us.
And basically, not just the skull, but the other props serve as conduits to connect him with the people that are inhabiting him. And actually, it's describing the show as like a part seance.
Yeah.
Because he's channeling these people through his lip syncing.
Yeah.
You know, they are inhabiting him, and he is speaking. They are speaking through him.
Yeah. And it's very interesting because his whole like modus operandi is that he is lip syncing.
Yeah, that's his
everything. And it's interesting because I haven't seen his shows before, so to me it was quite interesting. Obviously, you know, I'm very familiar with lip sync, you know, of the drag queens and, and all that. It's a big cultural phenomenon. But yeah, so it was interesting. So Ian McKellen then kind of starts off in a very kind of anecdotal fashion. He talks about the time when he started, when he died when he was playing Prospero, I think.
Yes, for the Tempest, yeah.
And he was like, I think on tour somewhere, and he was trying to find like a prompt corner to get the line, but the prompt corner didn't exist there, so like the DSM was in front of him. And then finally, I think he managed to ask for the line, and she wasn't following the play either.
Been there when you blank out and you're
back
just
in a day,
and you're just there. Oh, it was so funny.
Yeah, and then he also like talks about kind of they introduce this kind of question of authenticity and what the performance, I guess, is, because Ian McKellen tells about the time when he came to see Dickie's show when he was being Ian McKellen.
Yes, yeah, when he saw
watching himself.
Yeah, when he saw Remember Me. Yeah, there were lots of references to his other show, Remember Me, in this, which is like a great like connection to like, because Remember Me was there was Hamlet in this one, but Remember Me had a lot of Hamlet in that one as well. So, you know, it's really funny to see how he can like follow along with his previous work, and that he goes back and references it like directly in a new work, which is
Renata loves the Easter eggs.
I like stuff like that. I love stuff like that.
I didn't know any of this, but I enjoyed it nonetheless.
Yeah.
Ian McKellen does loads of things. He talks about also the Passion play in some Bavarian town. I don't remember the name.
It was in Austria, I think.
Yeah, they put on every like decade. Oh yeah, Fiona Shaw.
Yeah.
She talked about when she was playing Vinnie in Happy Days, you know, being buried up to the neck.
Yeah.
There was, I think it was Peter Sellers, but I'm not completely sure, the director, who talked about, I don't know if it was him, but he talked about the ancient Greece and ancient Greek theater, and how back in the day when you would step onto that amphitheater stage, you would feel so small because everyone was towering you, like the audiences, and like, you know, the worst of all fucking gods, because Deus Ex Machina would, you know, come out. So, and nowadays you kind of above the audience. Obviously, it's kind of going back now with all the black boxes and everything.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting. And he also told about that back in the day, because Greeks felt how important theatre was for citizens, obviously citizens, that's a caveat, so free men who could vote.
Yeah.
So they would pay people's wages, so they don't lose any income whilst attending theatre. So that's like super cool, you know, kind of reminder how important theatre was and how transformative, I guess, and how powerful and political and all-encompassing it used to be.
And how it was seen as civic engagement.
Yeah.
Like, this is your duty, like jury duty. This is your duty as a citizen.
Yeah.
We're going to make it so that you're able to attend because it's more important than the money, than your wages. We're going to cover the wages, and you're just going to go.
And, you know,
to experience these things all together with your fellow citizens. And then there was another person, Mimi Denisi, I think is who it was.
Oh, the Greek actress.
The Greek actress who was speaking about how it's like to perform in the amphitheater with the mountain behind you, with the volcano behind you, and how important it is, how everyone participates, and how important it is to their culture and things like that, which is really interesting to hear modern Greek people speak about how theater is something that, you know, is something that everyone has to do, or everyone has done.
Sorry, we're laughing because Renata keeps creaking.
It's stimming. Seat. It's stimming. I can't help it. It's so bad.
Creak. No regard. Yeah, there's like different little like Easter eggs, like Edmund Kean's sword. That was one of the props, the missing sword, and then finally he finds it and uses it to butter his toast or something like so. So there were loads of things, and like, but what was interesting, I think, first he gave this kind of anecdotal meta kind of context of theatre and what it is and what it stands for, stood for.
And performance in general.
Yeah, and performance, because they're different. Like, there were comedians, there were like drag queens, there were
sound designer, there was
different different people who do theatre and performing arts kind of talking about it. And then it all kind of starts merging and kind of folds on itself, in a sense, like it goes from this big context into like very personal. Why is he doing this? Is this like, I don't know, is this his calling? Is this a therapy, or is this the way of like hiding yourself?
Yeah, because I don't remember who it was who asked him that question, because at some point in the last portion of the play, we get to hear more of Dickie actually asking the questions to the people. And what's great is that, I don't know if it is an actor thing. Maybe it is an actor thing, because in acting, interrogating, it's about asking questions and inquiries and stuff like that. So they were asking follow-up questions to him that really made him pause and think about why he was doing it. And someone asked, basically, why don't you ever speak as yourself on stage? And him lip-syncing himself, is it him actually engaging with the audience? Because usually he engages with the audience through other people, not him directly to the audience.
But still, it felt like, it was a very painful moment when you want him to be able to talk to us, but he never does.
No.
And even that, like, lip-syncing himself.
Yeah.
It's kind of like admitting defeat, I guess, in a way. But it was this kind of like journey. It's very difficult to like follow it.
Yeah, because we can't really
remember.
It's vignettes. It's picture frames like into
kaleidoscope.
Yeah, like they describe it as that, and it really is that. There is no beginning, middle, end, up, down type of thing. It's just telling different stories, how it relates to performance and human connection with each other, with the audience, why we do it.
Should we go back?
Yeah, let's listen to ourselves afterwards. Yeah. Because it was a short one, which we love.
Do it.
Hello.
Hi.
Post your thoughts. I want to hear from you first.
I mean, I'm familiar with his work, so I knew what it was going to be.
So is this what he's doing? Like, is this
is his thing, yes.
Right, okay.
Lip syncing, basically documentary theater, and then lip syncing to what he recorded himself doing interviews with people.
How much is written by him and how much is just interviews? Because it's way too good. I feel speech-wise.
I think he knows.
Be,
I think he knows how to ask the right questions and get the right answers.
I mean,
out
obviously,
of people.
Ian McKellen. Come on, now. He knows how to speak. Yeah, people.
He interviews the right people, asks the right questions, asks the right follow-up questions to get interesting responses.
So it's nothing is written. It's all
I think some of it is, but you know, I think he does the interviews. He has an idea, does the interviews first, and then puts it together in whatever order he thinks fits.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he knows. He has a style. He knows what he's good at, and he's good at it. Telling something, you know. Lots of introspection, like the questions he was asking, the questions that the lady asked him about. Why don't you actually talk to the audience? Because he usually doesn't in his work. He doesn't.
Has he
speak.
ever?
I don't think so. Again, this is his thing.
It's very strong.
And what does that say about his fears and you know what he
and in
what
general,
he's scared of?
All of us, we don't really speak.
No.
Most of us never truly
because
speak.
We're all wearing masks all the time.
Yeah.
And again, it just takes me back to how life is a performance. How we perform in different ways every day.
Yeah.
And how performance is repetition as well, and how we live our lives the same way every day. Just like rehearsing for something, rehearsing for what?
Yeah.
You know, rehearsing for life, whatever.
Yeah. Playing to our ideal self that doesn't really ever exist, you know?
No.
For me, it was interesting because at first I was like, I mean, it's very European theatre. This is the shit I fucking love. It's like, you know, this show will do incredible in all the biggest European festivals. This shit is gonna do amazing in Avignon and everywhere. It's gonna be fantastic. But I'm like, but at first I was like, oh yeah, cool, very meta show.
Yeah, very.
And I was like, I find it interesting because obviously, you know, I'm from the industry and all that. But I was like, is it too masturbational? But I think when then he connected the dots that actually of performance and the self performance
and himself
and like, and you know, and by doing that as well, like he obviously kind of reminded us that we are not so dissimilar, I think, to
actors or to each other, or how, you know, people have different, like they were describing that town in Austria that does a big passion play, which I low-key now want to go find and see.
I want to go. Should we go in and watch it?
Go to Austria to see a passion play?
Yeah.
I mean, I've participated in a couple passion plays, or passion play-esque situations. But yeah, how the town lives for it. And how we all live for performance. Because it
gives you meaning.
Gives you meaning, and it gives us a chance to connect with pieces of ourselves and pieces with each other. You know, like how the part when Ian McKellen was talking about how you only really need an audience, the actors, and a script, and that's it.
Yeah.
And
not even the script.
Not even the script. It's just that connection that you have, being in the same room with people, with a group of people, with thousands. Like when they were describing, when the guy was describing the amphitheater and how, you know, it's 5,000 people, you know, watching something at one time, experiencing something all together, you know, and how it was so intentionally built so you could hear every word with clarity. And
that was crazy that the audience members used to be paid to watch theatre because of how.
Let's do that. Would that make us all better people? Maybe. I don't know.
We can't. Well, we can pay for, you know, drones to kill children, but we can't pay for, you know, we can't even pay actors properly.
No, we can't pay for the arts. We can't pay people to commission murals. We can't pay people to teach the arts in school because it's the first thing that we take. We can't pay people to teach humanities because we think humanities are useless and that people don't need to know the classics and they don't need to know sociology and they don't need to know,
because people who are educated in that way, they're more difficult to control
and they're more I
Well,
never
let's
tell
do-
far back in the wild.
Oh yeah.
I never see them. But
I see them all the time. They are such a vibe.
I don't see them that often.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's more American brand, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that probably that might.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see it that
Yeah.
often.
Yeah.
It's how we move throughout the world through, you know, when they're talking about what environment you're raised in and like what attracted us to theater in general, and what does that say about us and our internal, you know, are we all attention seeking motherfuckers or what?
I think so because
I think we are.
Yeah, because like life is so. It feels so meaningless. Sometimes if you think at the grand scheme of things. So we all just, I think, searching meaning, and especially in this, and we see with all the social media now, everyone feels like they have a voice and they want to express it.
And they all like to post every aspect of their life, but they're still performing because a lot of what they're posting and sharing is not completely true.
It's all of it.
But then some people are oversharing and overposting and giving us way too much information.
No, but all of it, because it's like it's signaling that your life matters, in
That's
the
true.
whole existential anxiety of it all, But
I'm gonna die and no one's gonna remember me type
Yeah.
shit.
well, because you have crazy memory and all the facts. Like, I don't know what my great grandparents did. I don't even know their names.
Who else is gonna know about me? That's why I gotta know.
I just
that
know my
information.
great grandma died in somewhere in Siberia in Gulag. That's all I know. I don't even know her name. You know, so nobody's gonna remember us on that fun
And that's
note.
why we have to document ourselves so frequently with our cell phones.
Well,
and
we don't
stuff
have to,
to
but I
make
think
it-
we feel like we have to.
We feel like we have to, so we
Yeah.
can have a footprint in this world until.
But then I
after
think by
we
that,
die.
obviously, we miss the moment of being
Yes,
because
because we still have our phone in our hands all the fucking time and don't enjoy ourselves while the thing is happening because we're scared either we're gonna forget the moments that make us feel good, and other people will forget us.
Yeah,
as people.
we're so concentrated in capturing rather than being, So I really enjoyed the show. I think the first part I was like, what does it want to be? And I was like, I should love this. Why don't I fully immersed? But I think then by the second half, it really captured me. And I was like, by closing it up, by making it personal, it opened it up.
Yeah.
If it makes sense.
I like the Remember Me mention in it.
Remember Me.
His other show.
Oh.
They were talking about how Ian McKellen watching him lip sync to himself. Like that moment, that's what they were talking about. Remember Me.
That was a very strong moment when he actually lip synced himself. That was
Yes,
like
I think
very
that's
poignant.
interesting too.
That
Because
was
is that not speaking himself? Is
Yeah.
that not? But maybe it really isn't because it's not in real time.
you don't know.
You know what I mean?
The thing is, okay, we're just haters. One thing I hated was, why do we have so many random props we didn't use?
Yeah, there's a lot of
Just
props.
have props that you
But
use.
the thing is, like, Remember Me, there was a shit ton of props too.
Well,
so.
and why are you saying me this information? So he doesn't learn from his mistakes? That's what I'm saying. Use the props if they're there. Why are they there? Why is the iPad there?
Funsies.
Don't do it for funsies. But that's the only kind of like hating thing that I can really say.
Again, he is just like.
I'm sorry if you hear weird sound. It's raining, so I'm cleaning my screen so it doesn't drown. But I don't. It didn't fully capture me by the end. It did. By the end, I was like, this is how I was supposed to be feeling.
And Remember Me was kind of the same way because at the beginning of Remember Me, it was more so talking about Hamlet in general.
Yeah.
If I remember this correctly, 'cause it's been like 3 years since I watched it. But it was like talking about Hamlet in general, its connection to theater in general, how
Should I
important
go
it is in
under that tree. I don't know.
maybe.
It's very rainy.
how
Yeah.
it like connects with theater in general and audiences, and how like it's the theater show,
Yeah.
right? And then later on, it got more specific about that actor
Right.
who played Hamlet at the National as he was actively dying of AIDS.
But to be fair, like that context, I guess, it is important. It is important, and I think probably I wouldn't have
And that's why it's
enjoyed
Remember Me.
what goes after as much as I did. You know,
It's like
because it was very interesting, these stories, and to hear from the great. I don't really know who other people most of the people were. I need
I
to
gotta
go
look up
and-
who it is.
Yeah,
Because we got some Greek actors and we got some British actors. We got some American actors in there,
and different. Kind
I
of
love that he kind of has a multiverse going on. It's like the Dickie Beau multiverse. Like you'll get Easter eggs of his past stuff in his new stuff. I love that type of stuff. But anyway.
Yeah, because you love to alienate audiences that seeing it for the first time.
Yeah,
because
but luckily, Remember Me is available, I'm pretty
love
sure,
it.
for free.
You love it
somewhere.
when you know a reference.
Yeah,
it
it's
makes
so fun.
you giddy.
You know it. You know.
Oh my god, you would enjoy a play when it's just facts that you know.
Correct.
Just facts.
No.
Someone write it.
No, I told you.
Renata's gonna be like, yes, please.
I started writing
Oh my god,
a play.
this
of
is
the
getting
Switch.
very.
Oh,
This
no.
is very
Oh, no.
getting intense. No, and Renata's umbrella did that embarrassing thing. We need to.
The umbrella is embarrassed, not me.
I love that for you. Yeah, but I'm really glad. I'm really glad we came and watched this. Very unexpected for Hampstead. Weirdly, I don't know.
It
This
actually
is
has
very-
meaning because the last couple things I've seen here have not
This
been
is
good.
very
so,
much Soho
yeah.
theatre kind of situation.
Absolutely. This
You
is
know?
very much Edinburgh Fringe type of situation. It would go
It's very much
crazy at
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
It probably will. Anyway,
Bye bye.
I would say, like, the second performance of Hampstead that I'm gonna remember.
Absolutely.
And it's more than I
And
can...
that's good.
Yeah. For,
Different
first one,
reasons.
for the very different reasons, but definitely a standout of 2024, 2025 season.
Agreed.
Definitely a standout, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one is very cool. I would like to see some other work by him, something that maybe doesn't speak about theatre, because I think it could be quite, quite powerful. This kind of using this interview method. It's not a verbatim theatre. It's like a
But it kind of is verbatim.
verbatim-ish
It
theatre.
is.
Because
it's like, it's not like straight up Anna Devere Smith, if you're familiar with her work, her straight up verbatim theater. But it is in a way, because instead of him actually saying it, because what she does for her shows, she actually is speaking as the people.
And the actors try to
But he's lip
mimic.
syncing to a track.
Yeah. Which is essentially is verbatim theatre.
Yeah.
And it has like so, many different possibilities. And he's a great performer. His physicality, his ability to actually...
First of all, it's a
lip
long
sync.
show to be out there by yourself from the start to beginning.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When the performance is good, it doesn't matter.
No,
I know
it
people
doesn't feel
have
like it.
issues with like
One-man shows. I can
one-person shows.
sometimes, but if it's good, it's good, and I can
it's
deal
good,
with
it's
it,
good. That's the thing. It's the story or the engagement of it. So I really commend Hampstead. I mean, they are maybe in this ugly duckling, we don't know where we're going phase. But I definitely feel the shift in the main theatre shows. They're more like
risky
and hit and miss. But you have to try.
Yeah, and
So at least they're trying.
I think a part of why people are afraid of being risky, not just in terms of like whether people will like it or not. I think it's just they're afraid to miss. They're afraid to miss so much that they pull back way too much.
Yeah.
It's just so
And
frightening
just
to
do the
fail.
meh
It's so
thing.
frightening to fail. And so they'd rather be mid all the time and be consistent in their mediocrity, essentially. That they don't want to do something big and risky and then
kind
end
of
up failing.
Stay comfortable 3 stars,
Yeah.
It's just like, it was fine.
It's fine.
It's okay.
Good. It's all right.
They did it.
I'm probably not
forget
gonna
about it.
remember.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because it's a very interesting, because I went through reviews trying to remember find out who those people were, because I couldn't really recognize or know who they were.
Yeah.
And the reviews were very interesting. They were either like 4 or 5 stars or 2. But it's a very good catalyst if it's like 2/4 5-star reviews. The show is going to be interesting and kind of.
It's nice when
risky.
people are like, it's a good sign when it's 2 extremes.
Yeah.
Either people really like it or really hate it.
Yeah.
That's good. You'd rather have that than have people like,
Yeah, it's fine.
it's all right.
And I think for those who listen to our podcast, we've seen a lot of It's Alright plays.
Yeah, seriously.
And to be fair, most of them don't end up as episodes.
Yeah, because we see a lot of theater, and some of it we just decide there's not much to talk about here, so we're just going to let it go.
It was fine, it was safe, it was,
It was what it was. Well, if it comes back, see any of his work, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it is so different from what anyone else is doing. This is his thing, and he's very good at it, and
it's very fringy, if you know what I mean. But
very fringy.
It will do well. I think it will do well, and it did. It was in the main theater.
Yeah, and it was full.
And it was full. So really successful. I think that's why I feel like we need to go back to this fringe or fringy theater, because this is where
the interesting things are happening.
Yeah.
But hasn't it always kind of been like that anyway?
Yeah, that's true.
And then sometimes the mainstream folks dip their toes in it, and you think, maybe they'll begin to do more things more interestingly, since they've already done this one interesting thing in 5 years.
Yeah,
and then you get disappointed the next time because you're like, you guys haven't learned. You just went back to your little mid things, you know what I mean?
Things.
So,
and it was interesting, actually. Me and Renata had this discussion about the mid things. The lovely Giuliano from People of Theatre, he's fighting the good fight, I think, in making theatre more accessible.
Yeah.
But he
thank you for those codes. Those codes that he puts out. He's amazing. He got it.
Great. And also he has this as well. I think we are kindred spirits in the way that we say how it is.
Yeah, he's very forthcoming, and very, very clear about what he thinks and how his beliefs impact his opinions on shows. And he doesn't do it in a mean way either. No. But some people do take what he says and think what he says is very harsh. But I think it's not harsh. I think it's just true.
I feel like maybe maybe sometimes says it too emotionally because he feels like, and he believes in what he's saying, which is very cool. And we're fighting a good fight. We kind of brothers in arms.
Yes.
but he was talking about, he was kind of disappointed about Evita, our previous episode. Not our previous episode. He was disappointed with Evita that we talked about in our previous episode. That it was like a theatre of celebrity, that West End is just, chasing that instead of actually like making the difference, which is fair, but also,
you gotta remember where we are. We have to remember where we are. And
West End is to make cash.
It's to make money. And there's very rare instances where you're going to find something that is hard-hitting, something that is going to cause people to reconsider their morals and their beliefs and reconsider their thinking.
And it's really going to be like kind of radical thinking and money gonna align.
No, you're not going to find that there. You'll find people who try to dip their toes in it, but it's never going to go as big and deep as theaters who have nothing to lose and who, are willing to take bigger risks, because that's not a place for risk.
Exactly. And it's like, it could be a symptom of something much worse, but I think we're going to kind of talk about it
in the next episode.
In our next week's episode, because
we have things to say. So,
Yeah.
But
spoiler.
Yeah. Well, again, go see anything by Dickie Beau for sure.
If you can.
And in general, don't be afraid of venturing outside.
Yeah. It's cheaper.
It's
sometimes better.
Yeah.
And you know,
But also, as an artist, don't be afraid of venturing outside the norms of performance and the rigidity of what theater is, because theater can be anything.
yeah, whatever you feel
Whatever
like.
you want, whatever you
And I feel like, you know, if this is what Renata always say, why here, why this,
why this,
now?
why here, why now?
And it's like, if you have that why, if you know why you want to tell the story, or why the story needs to be heard, and you work as hard as you can to tell that story to the best of its abilities. Maybe it could be crazy, but if it feels correct, it probably is correct. And don't be afraid. But then obviously, if you try to be in the West End, the producers are going to tell you no.
No, exactly.
It's going to be like no. So yeah, support small theaters
And support
creators.
artists so that they can keep creating
Yeah, the
these
weird and wonderful.
weird, wonderful things.
Yeah, that hopefully will become mainstream at some point. Ain't gonna be West End.
No, it's not. But you can still get good support from, because the West End is only this space here in London, in England.
Yeah.
Same thing with Broadway. Broadway is New York City.
Yeah.
That's it.
And if we make
more people are reached in the smaller spaces combined than in these two places.
And if we make, like, you know, weird and wonderful and brave theatre popular, meaning if we pay for the tickets, the West End will be like, oh, okay, cool.
Let's get on
they
this
want
trend.
to see this.
Yeah.
So
Maybe.
Well, maybe. Probably not.
Yeah. All right.
Because the sponsors have
Absolutely, corporate sponsorships.
Anyway, enough of this.
Yeah. See you next time.
Next time.
Bye-bye.
Gang, 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 gang.
Toilet break.